The movie opens with a handsome man getting ready for work. He's tall, with shaggy brown hair and blue eyes. His name is Ryan, and he's an elementary school science teacher with a secret he has never shared. He's colorblind. Ryan's ashamed of his condition because it makes him see the world differently from other people. His students adore Ryan. He's kind, inventive, and dynamic. His classes are never dull. The only issue is that he hates Christmas and doesn't allow his students to decorate the classroom. One of his students, a cute girl named Bailey, complains to her mother that the teacher reminds her of the Grinch. Bailey's mother is Michelle. She's a single mother who lost her husband a few years back. Michelle is pretty with blonde hair and a heart-shaped face. She's also a very nice person, always willing to help people no matter what. Michelle is an optometrist and owns a clinic. She encounters Ryan when she selflessly volunteers to provide free vision checkups for students. Ryan, who has brought his students to the gym, is approached by Michelle as she warmly greets him and Bailey. Ryan mentions that he met her with her husband, but Michelle isn't married anymore. She awkwardly explains that it wasn't her husband he met, but her ex-boyfriend, Mark. After a brief explanation of the examination process, Michelle proceeds to examine the children. During her observations, she realizes that Ryan hasn't taken part in the free exam, and decides to extend an invitation for him to undergo an examination as well. Ryan is skeptical and defensive. He knows about his condition and he's afraid Michelle will notice. At the same time, it would be impolite and suspicious to deny her. As Michelle examines Ryan, his worst fears are realized. She notices there's something wrong when she asks him to read under the green line and he doesn't immediately do so. Suspicious, she starts asking more questions related to color. Ryan takes some time to answer, afraid that he's going to say the wrong color. Fortunately for him, luck is on his side and he makes no mistake. However, Michelle's suspicions remain. She's almost 100% sure that he's colorblind. She understands that he's aware of his condition, though he seems embarrassed about it. She knows that it's perfectly normal to be colorblind, and there are ways to help him out. Michelle loves helping people, and soon she starts planning a way to help her daughter's teacher. After the school day, she and Bailey go to her sister's decor shop. Bailey wants to do a presentation about colors and she wants to use Christmas decorations to do so. Michelle thinks it's a great idea, and she takes it as a way to observe Ryan better. While Bailey goes after the decoration for her presentation, Michelle talks to her sister, Heidi, about Mark. Michelle broke up with him months previous, but he's insistent to continue their relationship. He borders on stalkerish. Michelle is annoyed by her ex's behavior, tired of his constant calls and messages. She wants to find a new boyfriend in the old-fashioned way. She's disinterested in meaningless dates and relationships. She wants to find someone as good as her late husband, John Eden, a man who takes care of her and loves her deeply. Heidi comforts Michelle and tells her she's sure she will find a good man someday. She just has to be patient. The following day, Michelle goes to Bailey's school to watch her presentation. She notices that the classroom doesn't have any Christmas decorations and looks rather dull. Bailey proudly explains how people perceive colors and lights a Christmas tree to exemplify it. Ryan tries to hide his annoyance, not at Bailey, but at his inability to see the colors everyone is seeing. The Christmas tree is gray and dim for him. He doesn't understand why everybody loves it. Bailey eagerly asks if the tree can stay in the classroom and Ryan immediately says no. Michelle is surprised by his quick denial and wonders why they can't decorate the classroom. The whole school is decorated for Christmas, so there are no reasons for him to forbid it in his classroom. Ryan hastily explains that it distracts the kids. Michelle knows he's lying. There's an undercurrent reason for him to hate Christmas decorations so much, and she's almost sure it's related to his color blindness. She thinks it's sad that he doesn't get to share the Christmas spirit because of his condition. Later on, Ryan is at his home alone and cooking. His house isn't decorated for Christmas either, which shows that his excuse in the classroom was a blatant lie. His friend, Sean, arrives at his place with good news for Ryan. He has a blind date with a woman that, according to Sean, is amazing. Ryan doesn't want to go on the date. He's tired of going on dates that lead to nowhere. At this time of his life, he's resigned to be single for the rest of his days. After his friend insists that he goes, Ryan relents, though he isn't excited about it. The next day, there's a family event at the school. When Michelle spots Ryan, she calls him to their table to talk. She sees it as another chance to confirm her suspicions about his condition. They are building a gingerbread house, and Michelle not so subtly asks Ryan to hand her certain colors of candy. He gets most of them right, though he takes some time to choose the right color. It's all by chance. When Michelle asks him for blue and yellow candies, he hands her pink and purple ones. Her suspicions are confirmed. He's colorblind. Ryan also notices that Michelle is onto him. He gets uncomfortable and tells them he needs to leave because he has a date. Michelle looks disappointed, admitting to herself that her interest in him goes beyond helping him out. Bailey has also noticed that her teacher can't see colors. One of the reasons for her to make a presentation about it was to see if he would say anything. She wonders if her mother will help Ryan, and Michelle replies that she will. She only needs to convince him to accept her help. Ryan's date is a disaster. The woman is pretty, but she works a lot and talks about having kids in 5 minutes of conversation. Ryan quickly leaves. Meanwhile, Michelle starts researching about color-blinded therapies and finds out there is a trial for color-blind lenses. It's the perfect way of bringing it up to him. She's excited to talk to him on the following day. She goes to school with Bailey and her daughter warns her that all the moms like him. Michelle gets flustered because she doesn't want to be another mother thirsting after Ryan. She approaches him at the school entrance and mentions his condition. It's not a good idea. Ryan gets defensive and refuses any kind of treatment. Michelle tries to reassure him that there are ways to help him, but he doesn't want to talk about it. Seeing that he's uncomfortable, Michelle apologizes for offending him. Before they can talk more, a pretty red-headed woman approaches Ryan, telling him that she's waiting to play basketball with him. It's the school's gym teacher. Ryan stops paying attention to Michelle and she hastily leaves. At the end of the class, Ryan hides the Christmas tree. He hates Christmas, but not without reason. Later on, he meets his friend again and tells him that his date was a disaster. The friend tries to set him up on a blind date again, but Ryan refuses. He prefers to stay alone than go on another weird date. When his friend leaves, he turns around and bumps into Michelle. They start talking and she wonders why he took the Christmas tree off. He explains that it distracts the students, but Michelle knows he's lying. She's sure his color blindness has something to do with his hatred for Christmas. She tries to convince him to let her help him again, but he refuses. Michelle's very obstinate and she won't give up. Seeing someone so worried about his health is touching. Ryan is used to being alone and in all his life, no one around him noticed his condition. It only took Michelle a few moments in his presence to notice it. The reason he's refusing her help is that he doesn't want to be hopeful. Michelle meets Heidi again and mentions Ryan. Heidi knows who he is already. He's famous amongst the other mothers because he's handsome. Michelle complains that he refuses her help and that she's thinking about submitting his application for the lens trial. Heidi doesn't think it's a good idea, but Michelle is determined to help him no matter what. Heidi tells her to call him first, and Michelle agrees. When she's back at home, she leaves a message to him talking about the lenses. She pleads that he reconsiders the application because she's sure it will help. She's embarrassed about her message, feeling stupid for insisting so much. It isn't like her to give up. She studied hard to help people out and Ryan needs her help. It's obvious that his condition affects his life. His hatred for Christmas is reason enough. Ryan never calls her back or answers her message. When she drops Bailey at school and sees Ryan, Michelle thinks about talking to him face to face. She's leaving her car when the pretty gym teacher approaches him. He seems very comfortable with the younger woman, and Michelle feels self-conscious. She leaves without saying anything to him. After so much time goes by and Ryan is yet to answer her, Michelle takes matters into her own hands. She sends the application in his name and hopes for the best. When she's leaving her job after sending the application, her ex suddenly appears and scares her. The man is crazy about her and keeps trying to talk to her. Michelle doesn't want anything with him anymore. She gives him an excuse to leave and hurriedly leaves him there. At home, while she's tucking Bailey into bed, they talk about John Eden. Michelle is emotional because misses him so much. After being rejected by Ryan and Mark's insistence, she feels alone. She wishes her husband was still alive. Bailey tells Michelle that she asked for a special Christmas gift, but she refuses to tell her mother what it is. The following day, Michelle calls Ryan again. He's been accepted to try the color-blind lenses. Ryan is shocked and a bit peeved that she would do something like that against his wishes. Michelle explains that she just wants to help him and that he could only try it. He finally relents after some time and accepts to do an exam with her. After classes, he goes to her clinic and she does the color-blind testing with him. His level is high. He explains that he can't see a single color. His life is in black and white. It's sad, especially because he feels defective. Ryan explains that he has always seen the world like that, and he thought he wasn't any different. It was only years later that he found out he couldn't see colors. He never told his parents because he didn't want to worry them. For years, he thought there was no solution for his condition. Michelle is sure that the new lenses are going to help, but Ryan doesn't want to get his hopes up. His stubbornness once again gets the best of him. He refuses to even try on the lenses, afraid of the results, and leaves the clinic. Michelle takes the lenses home and Bailey sees them. Michelle explains that Ryan refused to try them on and that she did her best to help him. Bailey doesn't blame her. She's happy that her mother is such a nice person. Besides, she has a sneaky plan to help Ryan out. The next day, after the end of classes, she covertly leaves the lenses for Ryan to try. When Michelle arrives to take her home, she sees Ryan with the lens case in his hand. He looks thoughtful and worried. Michelle tells Bailey to wait for her and goes after Ryan. He goes to a part of the school that is decorated for Christmas and tries on the lenses for the first time. Michelle quietly observes his reaction, and it makes her emotional. As soon as he puts the glasses on, he can't believe what he's seeing. The colors are so beautiful. They bring everything to life. Michelle approaches Ryan and he's holding his tears of happiness back. He has never been so amazed in his life. Now he understands what he has been missing. Michelle is so happy for him that she hugs him. For the first time, Ryan can also see the colors on her. Her golden blonde hair and bright blue eyes. She's even prettier than before. Michelle's excited for Ryan to see more with his new glasses. They go to church and Ryan sees the myriad of colors of the stained glasses and the Christmas decorations. Heidi appears with her husband and Michelle introduces them. Heidi can barely suppress her excitement when she sees Michelle with the handsome teacher. She mentions that he's famous for being the Scrooge of elementary school. They all laugh and then go wrap some gifts for the church. Ryan doesn't remember the last time he has been so happy. Not only with the colors but Michelle's presence. She's nice, bubbly, and pretty. If it weren't for her insistence, he wouldn't be seeing all the colors, and for that, he's glad. After church, they go to watch the sunset from a roof and it's breathtaking. Ryan gets emotional again and Michelle softly holds his hand. She can see how happy he is and it makes her happy too. The smile on his face fits him. Later on, they go around town and talk about Christmas. Ryan finally explains that's the first time he's having a Christmas with colors. He got bitter with the holiday because he couldn't see the colors or lights. Michelle takes him to see the city's Christmas tree and it's another amazing experience. Now he can finally understand why people love Christmas so much. He thanks Michelle for giving him the opportunity, even after his constant refusal. When Michelle goes back home, Bailey excitedly asks if she's going on a date with Ryan again. She denies it. After all, Ryan is her teacher. Bailey reminds her that it's his last year as her teacher, so it's okay for her to date him. Michelle is conflicted. She can't deny her attraction to Ryan, and when he is not being stubborn, he's a nice man. She just doesn't know if he thinks the same about her. She still remembers the gym teacher and how close they seemed. The last thing she wants is to get between a couple. The next day, she takes him to Heidi's store and again he's shocked by the bright colors. There are many flowers in the store so he can see different colors. They have some hot chocolate and talk. Ryan tells her that before the lenses, he couldn't smell flowers. Another thing he missed out on because of his condition. He thanks her again for her insistence. Before they can talk more, the gym teacher calls him and Ryan tells Michelle he has to leave to meet the girl. Michelle tries not to show her disappointment that their meeting was cut short, but it's hard. Despite what she told Bailey, she's starting to have feelings for Ryan and it's sad to see him leave her for another woman. When Ryan arrives at the gym, he's amazed again by all the new colors he's seeing. The gym teacher, Gabby, sees him and quickly asks if he wants to have dinner with her. She says that it's a thank you because he has been helping her so much, and Ryan agrees. Michelle is at home reading a book and relaxing when someone knocks on her door. It's Mark. Michelle's annoyed that he has come after her again, finding his behavior a bit worrisome. He pleads to have a moment to talk to her and she relents. Mark wants to go back to her and apologize for the mistakes he made when they were together. Michelle isn't moved at all by his apologies and she doesn't feel anything for him anymore. She already moved on. His stalkerish behavior is strange and she is getting tired of his persistence. He asks to come to Bailey's Christmas concert, and Michelle tells him she'll think about it. The last thing she wants is to confuse Bailey with her relationships, but maybe if he gets closure, he'll stop bothering her so much. The next day, Ryan's classroom is decorated from top to bottom. He's even wearing a red Christmas sweater. It's Christmas break and everyone is excited. Ryan is looking forward to seeing Michelle again, maybe even asking her on a proper date this time. It's time for the Christmas concert and Michelle arrives at school with Bailey. She looks great. She's excited about the concert because Bailey is the lead singer. After Bailey leaves to get ready, Michelle looks around for Ryan and finds him in an intimate position with Gabby. The woman is kissing his cheek, very close to his mouth, while he smiles adoringly at her. Michelle feels her heart breaking at the scene. She knew he might have something with Gabby, but after their moments together, she thought that maybe she had a chance. Sadly, she was wrong. To make things worse, Mark appears with a huge hopeful grin. After witnessing the guy she was falling for with another woman, Michelle makes bad decisions. She allows Mark to sit close to her during the concert and Ryan notices. He's also upset at seeing her with another man, thinking that they had something. He's disappointed, but he can pretend better than Michelle. During the concert, they keep stealing furtive glances at each other, longing for something that will not happen. After the concert, Bailey takes her mother aside and asks what Mark is doing there. She doesn't look happy at the man's presence. She doesn't like him at all. Michelle can't explain why Mark is there, but she promises she will talk to Bailey later on. Bailey sees Ryan and excitedly calls him. It's an awkward moment between Michelle, Ryan, and a clueless Mark. Bailey excuses herself to play with her friends and leaves the adults alone. When Michelle reintroduces Ryan to Mark, her ex instantly acknowledges that they are on a first-name basis. He wants to know why, even though he has no reason to do so. Michelle hastily explains that Ryan used to be her patient and now he's a friend. Ryan is disappointed that he got friend-zoned, but there's nothing he can do about it. He has no idea that Michelle saw him with Gabby and misunderstood the situation. Mark feels threatened by Ryan since he's handsome and charming, so he asks how much he makes as a teacher. Mark works for the stock market and makes good money, not that it matters to Michelle. Ryan gives Mark a proper answer that only makes Michelle fall even harder for him. He tells Mark that he doesn't care about the money when he's teaching future scientists, that can do something important in the future. For him, education is the most important thing, and he's proud of being part of the kids' process. Michelle is gazing at Ryan with heart in her eyes, lost in a state of swooning adoration. He never looked more attractive than when he said the kids' education is the most important thing for him. Following that, sensing Mark's pretentious behavior, Ryan chooses to depart, leaving the couple alone. Before he goes, though, he doesn't miss the opportunity to wish a heartfelt Merry Christmas to Michelle. Watching him leave, and the way he looked at her, makes Michelle come to her senses. She breaks up with Mark for good, telling him that he's the wrong person for her, and leaves with Bailey. It's the best choice of her life. The next couple of days are spent longing for each other. Michelle watches videos of Ryan whenever she has the chance, remembering how happy he looked when he saw the town's Christmas tree. Ryan can't stop thinking about her either. One day, he decides to buy something for her as a thank you gift for everything she did for him. He goes to Heidi's store to buy a bouquet and explains he wants to give it to Michelle as a friend. He knows she's back with her ex, so he doesn't want to disrupt things. Heidi is confused as to why he thinks that. When he explains that he saw them together, she tells him that they would never get back together. She also questions him about Gabby and mentions that Michelle saw them together. Ryan is surprised that she saw that and quickly explains what happened. Gabby wanted to have something more with him, but he didn't see her like that. The moment she kissed him on the cheek, he had just finished telling her that. Heidi is surprised and tells him that Michelle likes him. Ryan is shocked that a woman like Michelle is into him. He's also very happy because he also fell for her. He wants to see where the relationship goes. He has an idea to confess his feelings to Michelle and asks for Heidi's help. Later on, while Michelle's at work, her assistant tells her someone is waiting for her. When she arrives at the reception, she sees a beautiful heart-shaped flower arrangement filled with red and white roses. She's amazed and has no clue that it belongs to Ryan. When she sees him there, she doesn't know what to say. Her heart is almost bursting out of her chest. Ryan tells her that she's an amazing person, the most caring woman he has ever met, and a great mother. He fell for her and he wants to have a relationship with her. He explains the situation with Gabby and Michelle is relieved. He invites her to go on a date with her, and she happily agrees. It's a surprise date. He takes her to his house and proudly shows her what he did. His previously cold and nondescript house is filled with Christmas decorations. He wonders if she wants to decorate the tree with him, and she agrees. Their cozy date unfolds with gentle gazes and hearts warmed by the holiday cheer. It's perfect. When they finish decorating the tree, Ryan slyly tells her there's another Christmas tradition he wants to enjoy with her: kissing under the mistletoe. Michelle laughs at his cheeky remark and they kiss for the first time. It's everything they imagined. When they separate, Michelle asks if he wants to spend Christmas morning with her and Bailey. Ryan says he would love to. They kiss again and spend the rest of the evening together. The following morning, it's the perfect Christmas day. Snow falls from the sky and Michelle's house is all decorated for the holiday. As promised, Ryan is there to have breakfast with them. Bailey awakes and goes after her mom, but she doesn't find her in the house. When she leaves and sees her mom hugging Ryan, her heart gets warm with happiness. Later on, after opening all her gifts, she admits that her Christmas wish came true. She explains that she wished that her mother found a man who treated her as well as her father did, with respect and love. Michelle gets emotional and hugs Bailey close to her. Ryan arrives back with hot chocolate for them and they cheer. As Ryan watches Michelle and Bailey, he can't believe how lucky he got. That was the best Christmas ever.